Okay, let's start. Okay, good evening, everyone. In today's Graphic webinar, we have the topic writing better React code. So giving a brief about these webinars basically cover the tech stack of Glyphic. That is, the backend is in Elixir and the front end is in React. And week by week, we gather the topics and we try to cover one of the area that figure out. So on today's topic, we have how to write better React code using some automations. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, let's move to the agenda. Like, what are the top topics that we are going to discuss today? And in the topics we have, first we'll discuss about the tools and libraries that we have used in the front end for writing clean code. And second, we will discuss like how we automated the code cleaning process using the GitHub workflows. So the whole webinar will cover the two following topics, and we'll see how it moves around them. All right. Okay, before that, I'll just give you a quick brief about what Glyphic is and what the problem it tries to solve. So Glyphic is an open source two-way communication platform that helps NGOs to message their or contact their beneficiaries at scale. In the last, like in 2020, when COVID wave hit, NGOs were not able to physically contact their beneficiaries and help them. So we thought of a way like how we can help how we can NGOs can leverage the tools and technologies that is available today to help these beneficiaries by just asking them questions or taking surveys and not actually visiting them physically. For that, we thought of the medium to be WhatsApp, since most of the rural areas have smartphones, and due to availability of mobile phones and data getting cheaper in India or Asian countries, we thought this to be a viable option. And using Glyphic, we can create a chatbot where we can use it to automate conversations with the beneficiaries. To know more about Glyphic, you can visit our website, glyphic.org. And yeah, I'll just move forward with the current topic. So I'll just start with what are the two basic things that every project should have. And that for me, I am thinking it's first is formatting, like how we lay out our code, how we indent the line spaces and breaking. So when multiple people work on a single project, they each have their own style of writing something. Some uses tab space or width for, some uses two. So for that, we should have a common specification of the formatting that we use across the whole the project. And second is the linting part. So like couple of developers that I have seen, they make some silly mistakes that like usually you should not cover in code review. So this linting process can help in automatically figure out these programming or stylistic errors that should not idly be done by a person, and it should not take time of a reviewer. It should ideally be done through automation. So these are two basic things that I think every project should have. And in Glyphic, I'll just start with the tools that we use to achieve that. So first one is Prettier. So Prettier is a well-known tool in JavaScript where we use it for formatting, and we present some options like what should be the line spacing, what should be the tab width, and it is global across the project. Okay. And second, for the linting, we use ESLint. It's also a famous package or tool that helps to check JavaScript linting errors like the styles and what are the basic things that a programmer or a web developer should know before writing the code. Third, we have the TypeScript compiler. Yeah, TypeScript compiles into JavaScript in Glyphic, and during the compilation time, it already checks for these the linting errors or the Prettier errors. So we actually check these at compile time with the help of TypeScript. And finally, we have some VS Code extensions. I have named just one, for example, that's React snippets. So when a community used to code something, they have a certain or to be say certain ways of writing code, and React snippet, what it does, it picks up the code that is usually most used by the community people, like what should be the way the React code should be written. So these are the primary tools and libraries we used in Glyphic to achieve this. And if you have any questions so far. No, okay, let's move forward. So I'll just give a quick demonstration on how we used to achieve this global formatting and linting, and I'll just give you a quick demonstration by starting a new React project. Let me start my item, and I'll just start with going to my projects and going to my folder webinar, and I'll just create a new React project, and I will name it formatting. Okay, it should take just 1 minute to create a whole new React project, and we can just see this. You can see like this is installing all the libraries that we need to use in the React. So it's taking Prettier, ESLint testing library that Create React app provides. Okay. So it installs quite a lot of things. Okay, it's done. So you see it's pretty easy to install your first Create React app. Next, we'll just go into the folder formatting. And what we will do is we will start this in VS Code. Okay, and we'll just start the server. Okay, the server started, and as you can see, as a new React app, it looks something like this. So now what we'll do is for global formatting and styling, we will just install a package called Prettier that I've already mentioned. So I'll just yarn add exact Prettier, and I'll just add the Prettier configuration file here. It should be ideally named prettier.rc, and as you can see, this is the file. Here we can give the configurations of Prettier, like what we need to write. So I'll just say single quote should be true, and the tab width, we can give tab width also, like what should be the tab width, or the I'll just give tab width of 4, or let's say 2 only. No worries. So if I just go to app.js, and as you will see, it's already single quoted. Let me just single quote should be false. It should be double quote. So when I will type the command yarn Prettier write, so it will just write this files. And as you can see, like it was single quote earlier, and it changed the in the global files to all the double quotes. So also, like I've given the tab width of 2, now I'll just give it a tab width of 4, and you will see the change, like the tab width will increase. So as you can see, the global tab width of this project is increased. So before any commit or something, we'll just use the same configuration over every file, and so we can have a consistency in the project overall. So in Glyphic, what we used is the tab width 2, and we also give the width of the overall line width, but yeah, I think it's not okay, no worries. So there are some more configurations that you can configure to have a global style. I just give you a demonstration of these two, like the tab width and this. Next, we have a linting error. So for that, we use ESLint, and when you install a new Create React app, the ESLint is already there. So if I'll just go here, and I will start my server again after making one mistake. Like in an anchor tag, I will not write anything. Okay, so I'll just start my server, and okay, my server is starting. Okay, I think I did not save it properly. Okay, so yeah, as you can see, this is the ESLint warning. Like it says, anchor must have a content, and content must be accessible by screen reader. So it gives me currently a warning, like this should not have happened. For clean code, you should not have done this, but it's currently giving me a warning, and it compiles even after that. So if I just want to change these configurations, I'll just override this with my .ESLint rc.json file. Okay, let me have a quick look like what we did on the other project, and I'll just add a folder to my workspace, and it's webinar and its format. I'll just, okay. In this, I've already created a configuration file. I'll just copy it from there, and ESLint rc.json. Okay. So now we have this configuration file which extends the basic ESLint configuration, and it adds certain rules to that. Like the rule was anchor must have content and the content must be accessible. Currently, it's giving me a warning, and I'll just say like if this type of error or something comes up, just change this rule to error. So I'll just okay, it's already there. So I'll just change this to error, and now if I try to compile it again, it will not compile because it will say like this is an error that you must first make this error go, and then you can like work on this configuration. So similarly, there are certain other rules that ESLint provides that you should ideally follow, and that we have done in Glyphic. So I'll just give you a quick demonstration on Glyphic. What are the certain rules that we have written? And if I go to my Glyphic repository and ESLint-rc.json, so these are some of the rules that we have said, like the prettier should be there. It should give error if the prettier is not good. And there are also certain rules that we have manually made off, so that these should not be followed in this. Apart from that, we have used some plugins like extends the Airbnb configuration also for a specific writing code styles. So these are the two things, basic things that a project should have: a same configuration or the styling configuration, and second is the linting error that it should not have. So these are two things that I demonstrated. And other than that, there are many more things like the extensions that we can use in VS Code. But yeah, just these two will suffice to help in writing a clean code. Okay, next we'll move there are two other things. Just okay. So there are two other things that we did in the GitHub workflow in our front-end repository that helps in writing more clean code. And I'll just show you one by one. First is the deep scan. And with deep scan, what you can do is you can figure out a specific language. What are the things that you need to, what are the errors that you made in the overall language? So it's free for open source. And as you can see, this is my deep scan dashboard. And it shows the overall issues in my project, like this item update null checked is here. And these are some things that is not picked up by the linter, and it just checks in the overall code. There's the clean way of writing the code. So it runs usually on every PR. And if I'll just show you any PR, so it shows like there are no deep scan issues. So it usually checks for the deep scan issues in PRs and says like this should not have been done, this should not have been done. And we usually, it usually helps us to writing more clean code. And second is the Git Guardian security checks. So sometimes it happens like when you write your code, and sometimes you push your ID or keys, like let's say if you're working on Stripe, you sometimes put your Stripe keys, the production keys on the GitHub, and that could harm your project, because since once it's checked in on GitHub, it can be seen by anyone if the project is open source. So for that, we have used a service called Git Guardian Security Check that checks if any security breach has been done, and it checks in every PR. So that helps us to get an overall check on the security. So yeah, that is the automatic tools. And yeah,
can you explain Git Guardian? I mean, how it will save us from putting the credentials on production?
So whenever you put some credentials on, whenever you in a branch, you put in your credentials and you just push it to the GitHub, it says like this Git Guardian security check has failed, and you should remove this, or forcefully push this branch or delete this branch, or make this commit removing something. So ideally, we don't check it in ourselves like we have used this, but it will just show across here like you have breached some security or a kind of something.
Okay, yeah, because I was thinking if you commit anything on GitHub for the one time only, even if it's commit or anything, then your credentials are there, right?
So not exactly.
User can go and.
So if you push something and like if you forcefully push to the previous commit, then the between commits like usually goes from GitHub. So in that way you can be saved, like not.
So it will remove my commit history.
Yeah, it will
I mean-
remove. Yeah, it will remove conversation. So it's just for knowing that you did a mistake by putting that credentials. It will not exactly save you. Like if you committed and you do not remove that, then it will be harmful for you.
Okay.
All right, Archie. Okay, yeah. So yeah, this was it for today. Thank you. If you have any other questions that you want to ask.
With regard to GitHub flows, does it support means other languages also like PHP, Elixir, and all, or does it have a specific support for React?
Deep scan.
No, no, GitHub Actions, no? Through GitHub Actions, you put that scan and all.
Okay, good. So it supports basically most of the famous languages like PHP, JavaScript, and I think it has support for Elixir too. I'm not sure about Elixir, but yeah, it generally have support for all the major languages, similar to DeepScan. Any other questions? Okay, yeah, then I think let's meet up again next week with another one of React webinar. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye. Okay, bye.